Notice of fictitious conveyance of language, legal implications and fraud prevention. Introduction to fictitious conveyance of language. A notice of fictitious conveyance of language is a formal declaration used to challenge deceptive, misleading, or fraudulent use of language in contracts, legal documents, and commercial transactions. This concept arises when syntax, grammar, or terminology is intentionally manipulated to create ambiguity, misrepresentation, or unlawful obligations. The notice asserts the right to clarity, full disclosure, and proper syntax in legal agreements and communications to prevent fraudulent misinterpretations. Purpose of this notice: challenges fraudulent and misleading language in contracts, legal notices, and public records. Asserts the requirement for clear, unambiguous communication in legal agreements. Prevents the enforcement of deceptive clauses that are contrary to lawful understanding. Protects against linguistic fraud, misrepresentation, or manipulation of contractual terms. Legal basis for challenging fictitious language. Uniform Commercial Code, UCC, Section 1 to 201(3) and Section 3 to 104, requires contracts and negotiable instruments to be clear and enforceable. Maxims of law state that fraud vitiates all contracts, including those based on misleading language. False Claims Act, 31 U.S. C. Section 3729, prohibits false or deceptive statements in legal and financial documents. Common law contract principles establish that any contract based on fraud or ambiguity is void and unenforceable. Key legal implications: invalidates contracts, agreements, or obligations based on deceptive language. Prevents fraud through improper syntax, altered grammar, or misleading terminology. Forces legal entities to provide full disclosure and precise language in agreements. Provides a legal basis to challenge unlawful or misrepresented claims. Common situations requiring a notice of fictitious conveyance of language. 1. Deceptive contracts, challenging fraudulent legal agreements with ambiguous wording. 2. Misrepresented financial instruments, rejecting falsified loan or credit agreements. 3. Government and legal documents, demanding accurate and lawful syntax in official records. 4. Debt collection and foreclosure notices, asserting that improperly worded demands are void. 5. Business and corporate transactions, ensuring clarity and transparency in commercial agreements. Steps to issue a notice of fictitious conveyance of language. 1. Identify deceptive or misleading language in the document or agreement. 2. Draft a formal notice specifying the fraudulent or unclear portions of the text. 3. Cite applicable legal statutes and contract principles requiring clarity and full disclosure. 4. Serve the notice via certified mail or legal delivery to the relevant party. 5. Retain a notarized copy as evidence for potential legal disputes.